It's a cold afternoon in Cambridge, about 15 minutes drive from Hobart. The ground is soaked from recent rain, but there's a blue sky and the day looks promising. Gerald Ellis, the person I'm supposed to be interviewing, is running late. He's been caught up in a meeting in Hobart, one of his many jobs since he changed the way he runs the farm. He set up a restaurant, a winery and an engineering and fertiliser business. So, while I'm waiting, I walk around the restaurant and stop at the cellar door.
Sauv Blanc, that's the 08. That's a bit of a blend of fruit from both vineyard sites. Quite very similar to a New Zealand Sauv Blanc. Very generous on the nose, this one.
G'day, how you going?
How are you?
Good.
Sorry about that.
No, it's all right.
Yeah.
No worries at all.
Whilst we still live on a farm, we still operate the farm commercially. Most of my activities are now worked in an office remote from the farm. We're a business that we're in a business that we developed about 10 years ago. It's a cellar door restaurant and function centre, and we did that as part of our production on Meadowbank, which was to grow grapes.
Why did you sort of move away from that, the actual day-to-day operations of the farm, and set up these businesses secondary to the initial farm?
Our farm could no longer give us a satisfactory return on assets as the value of the farm increased, and most rural land has increased significantly in the last 5 or 6 years. So we had to look at an alternative form of income simply so that we could justify our existence in actually living on the farm, because that's what we want to do. We made a conscious decision that we lived in a beautiful area, we had a sentimental attachment to the farm, and we wanted to live there.
So you wanted to stay in a rural lifestyle?
Oh, most definitely, yes. You can't take the country out of the boy, I'm afraid. We've always been involved in high capital input industries. So a couple of years ago, my partner and I decided that we would look around and try and find a business that didn't meet that criteria. We wrote to all the accountants in Hobart and asked them whether they had any businesses on their books that had high cash turnover, reasonable margins and very low asset base. And they came up with one which we purchased 12 months ago, and that's a civil engineering products and design company.
Which is totally removed from agriculture.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's perhaps one of the things that we were looking for, that we wanted a diverse base from which to source our income.
Had you not been able to do the transformation, what would have come of the property and living on that rural lifestyle?
I suspect that we would have probably seriously contemplated having to sell the property. Certainly from a psychological point of view, we can now enjoy the lifestyle that we have, feeling that we are getting a return on the assets that we have through our other businesses as well. And so it makes life a little bit more comfortable and much more enjoyable, knowing that we don't have that burden of worrying constantly about scratching along trying to make a living purely off the farm.
What do your children think about it?
Well, actually, my 2 eldest children are off farm at the moment. When we asked them whether we should sell the farm, we certainly nearly had a family mutiny. So they do really feel that they have strong links to the farm, and I've got no doubt in my mind that they will come back on the farm probably in 10 or 15 years' time when they've established themselves in some other businesses.
Do you think they'll come back as farmers, or do you think they'll come back as something different?
I think the desire and to farm will always be there. It's almost inherent. And I think the concept that we used to have is where you hand the family farm on to your children is now sometimes regarded as a millstone around their necks. So that's why I think children at times have no interest in being on the farm. But there's always that linkage to agriculture, and I think it's a real shame that children leave or want to leave the farm permanently without any linkages whatsoever.